All right, now that your dog is comfortable with retrieving the bringsel, just like any other training dummy, it's time to move on to step number 2, which is to introduce the deer hide. So I've laid a tan deer hide on the floor in front of us here. It doesn't really matter if you use a deer hide or some other kind of hide. It just has to be something you wouldn't typically ask your dog to retrieve. So definitely not a full carcass yet at this point. Something bigger, and again, a tan deer hide or a dried deer hide works great. So lay that on the floor. I'm just going to set my bringsel right on top of it, right in the middle, somewhere super easy to see. And then we're going to revisit our force fetch. Liesel, sit up. Come on. All right, ready? Fetch. The dog should immediately grab the bringsel and bring it back to you. All right, now normally in force fetch, I would take the bringsel and give her a treat, but this is also a great time to start introducing this concept of them toggling, or really at this point just trying to get them to bring you back to the deer hide, and that's where they'll be rewarded with the treat. So rather than take the bringsel, I'm just going to ask her, but where is it? So I like to do an exaggerated hand motion as well, in addition to asking the question, and then she doesn't know what this means yet, or your dog probably wouldn't, so then you're just going to take steps towards the hide and get them back to the hide before you reward them. So Liesel, where is it? Good. Good girl. Once you get back to the hide, then you'll have the dog either sit or lay down. Good. Drop. And then once they're here, this is when you can go ahead and give them the treat. Okay? So Liesel has done this in a testing situation, so I apologize. You're not getting to watch a dog learn how to do this. You're watching a dog that already knows how to do Totverweisen, revisit each of the steps we took to get there. But the biggest thing that we see with new dogs learning this is they try to grab the hide and retrieve that to you instead of the bringsel. So that's why you want to keep the hide nice and close so you can quickly step in to issue a correction, which is usually just a verbal command telling the dog to leave it. Have them drop the hide, make sure they're only grabbing the bringsel and bringing it back to you. And then the second important part of this step is to ask the dog to bring you back to the deer hide before you give them a treat, which in this case was only 2 steps. So even if your dog doesn't yet know what it means when you say, where is it? You should be able to just take a step or 2, they'll follow along with you, and then again, always give them the treat right at or near the hide so they start to understand that the real reward comes when we return to the hide. All right, so once your dog is doing well with this, it's time for step 3.